family blamed me for my sister's disability for 20 years. Then I found the medical records and proved they lied to me my entire life. When I was 8, my sister fell off the monkey bars at recess and hit her head on the concrete. She went to the hospital with a spinal injury and never walked again. I was on the other side of the playground when it happened. Everything changed after that. They started treating me like I had done something terrible. My parents stopped hugging me goodnight. They would ask my sister about her day at dinner, but when I tried to talk, they looked down at their plates. When I made honor roll in 5th grade, my dad glanced at the paper and walked away without saying anything. By middle school, things got worse. My sister started at my school and suddenly everyone knew our story. Teachers gave me sad looks. Kids would stop talking when I walked past, then whisper once I was down the hall. Then one day someone said it to my face. They told me I was the reason my sister was in that wheelchair. I went home and asked my parents if it was true. My mom looked at me with this cold expression and said, "You were playing too rough that day. You distracted her right before she fell." Everything clicked into place. At family gatherings, my aunts and uncles would lecture me about being more careful. My grandparents stopped acknowledging my birthday. Every Christmas, I watched my sister open piles of presents while I got 2 or 3 things. I asked my mom why once, and she said, "She's been through enough because of you." High school was terrible. I had no friends and spent every lunch hiding in the library. At 16, I was having dark thoughts and begged my parents to let me see a therapist. My dad laughed in my face and said therapy was for victims, not for people who cause problems. The day I turned 18, I packed everything and left. I got a small apartment and worked night shifts while going to community college. My parents paid for everything for my sister: college, car, apartment. When I asked why they wouldn't help me, my mom said, "You know exactly why." I stopped going home. The few times I showed up for holidays, I sat at the far end of the table in silence while everyone else laughed. By 25, I had an accounting job and my own apartment. I started dating someone who cared about me, but the guilt was killing me. I couldn't sleep and would wake up sweating, thinking about my sister in that wheelchair because of what I did. My girlfriend found me on the bathroom floor having a panic attack. She told me I needed help. I started seeing a therapist, and after 3 sessions, she stopped me and asked something that threw me off. She said, "Do you actually remember what happened that day, or do you just remember what people told you happened?" I sat there frozen because I realized I didn't remember the fall at all. I only remembered my mom telling me I caused it. That night, I called my old elementary school. My hands were shaking. They said the incident report was archived and would take a few weeks to find. Those 3 weeks felt like forever. I barely slept. When the email finally arrived, I stared at it for 10 minutes before I could open it. I was terrified it would confirm everyone was right about me. I finally opened it and started reading. There were 5 witness statements from teachers and students. Everyone said the same thing. I was on the opposite side of the playground playing with other kids when my sister fell. She climbed the monkey bars alone, got to the top, lost her grip, and fell. The supervisor wrote that I ran over after she was already on the ground screaming. I just sat there staring at the screen. I got in my car and drove to my parents' house. I walked in without knocking. I held up my phone with the report and said, "I was on the other side of the playground. 5 witnesses say so." I wasn't even near her. My mom stood up and her face went white. My dad sat there frozen. I said louder, "You told me I distracted her. You told me it was my fault for 20 years. My dad's voice came out quiet. He said, "We got that report the day after. We knew you weren't involved." I felt like I'd been punched. I asked, "Then why lie to me?" He wouldn't look at me. He said, "We needed someone to blame. We were falling apart. You were just there, so we blamed you." Then my sister's voice came from the hallway. She said, "I saw you running over after I hit the ground. I've known this whole time you didn't cause it." I walked out without saying another word. My parents have sent 12 letters, but I haven't opened them. My sister calls every morning leaving voicemails crying and begging me to forgive her. But they destroyed me for 20 years when I was just a kid who didn't do anything wrong. Last week, I blocked all their numbers.